Hi there everybody, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage. So, I don't know what happened to me over the weekend. Has it been the Aurora Borealis that we've had all over the UK? It was really strong up in the north of Scotland. We had those fantastic northern lights. Or has it been that cherry beer that I've been drinking? Possibly laced with psychedelics. Whatever it is anyway, I've been listening to loads of psych music over the last few days, and in particular, neo-psych. So I thought I would share some of those records with you today. So the first one I'm going to show you is from 1980, from a band that would be considered one of the forerunners of the modern neo-psych movement, and it is of course the Soft Boys with their album Underwater Moonlight. The band split up not long after releasing this. So this is a reissue from '86 on Living Cream Records. If you see the original album, it looks different. It's got a different cover. This album cover looks more psychedelic. It was designed by the lead singer Robin Hitchcock. The original album cover, which I'll put up here, looks more punky, I think, but they definitely have a punk sentiment to their songs. You hear a power pop in there, there's jangle pop, there's lots of flourishes of psychedelia. It's just a great, great album. I think they were originally called Maureen and the Meat Packers or Maureen and the Meat Puppets, and they changed their name to the Soft Boys. That's that label. But yeah, if you like your psychedelia catchy, loads and loads of hooks, really, really upbeat, then this would be an album for you. I think this is an absolute stomper of an album. Probably one of my favourite neo-psych albums, if not my favourite. You know, songs like I Want to Destroy You is so upbeat, it's kind of punky, new wave. Then you've got other songs like I Got the Hots, which sounds very Syd Barrett. You know, Robin Hitchcock, he's got that great solo career as well. And a lot of his albums, you can hear that he's really influenced by Syd. They both come from Cambridge. They've got similar style sounding accents, and their songwriting can be quite similar as well. But that I Got the Hots could have came off of Barrett, or it could have come off of the Madcap Laughs. Old Pervert's really good as well. The Queen of Eyes is just like superlative jangle pop. Underwater Moonlight, the title track's fantastic as well. But yeah, absolutely top stuff. Tracked down a copy of this. I'm surprised it's not been reissued because, like I said, this is the '86 reissue. It's quite expensive. The original UK presses are well over £100. But yeah, check it out. Stream it on Spotify or whatever. It's a brilliant, brilliant album. Next up, an album from another of the godfathers of modern psychedelia. We've got Julian Cope's The Teardrop Explodes and their debut album Kilimanjaro, again from 1980 and hot on the heels of the Soft Boys Underwater Moonlight. So again, this is a reissue with an alternative cover. That was the original cover there. And a lot of people would say that out of the Teardrop Explodes albums, it would either be Kilimanjaro or Wilder would be the best one. I like this better. I like Kilimanjaro better. Wilder's probably a little bit more psychedelic, I think, but this has a lot of the big hits on there. So it's got songs like Treason, which is absolutely fantastic. Bouncing Babies, brilliant song. The big hit, Reward, those fantastic horns. And it's also got the song Books. Now, Books was originally recorded by Julian Cope's previous band, the Crucial Three, that he was in with Ian McCulloch of Echo and the Bunnymen, and Pete Wiley, who went on to form Wahheat. But yeah, just loads of great stuff. When I Dream's really psyche. Haha, I'm Drowning, Sleeping Grass are really psychedelic as well. But yeah, just great stuff. Can never ever go wrong with Julian Cope. Next up then, we're going across the Atlantic to Los Angeles, 1984, for one of the great Paisley Underground bands, The Rain Parade. This is their second offering, Explosions from the Glass Palace. This was their follow-up to their classic debut Emergency Third Rail Power Trip, and this is fantastic stuff, really, really good. It sounds almost like outtakes from the first album, a very, very similar sound, that Birdsey jangle, upbeat, catchy, loads of hooks, just great, great stuff. But the difference with this one compared to the first one is that I'm cheating a little bit with this. It's really just a mini album. There's only 5 songs on here. It only clocks in at 21 minutes. But what an absolute reverb drenched Eastern Raga guitar sounding gut punch that this delivers. It's really, really great stuff. And that's despite the fact that the band's co-founder, Dave Roback, had left by this point. He'd went on to form Opal, and then he went on later on to form Mazzy Star. But Stephen Roback, his brother, takes the reins here. But yeah, absolutely great stuff. Check out that psychedelic sky in the background, those orange skies. This one's on Zippo Records. And by all accounts, Alan McGee, founder of Creation Records, was a massive fan of the Rain Parade. He loved that kind of jangle pop sound that they had. And you can really hear that in a lot of the early Creation bands and the C86 bands as well. But yeah, songs on here. You Are My Friend is so catchy. Prisoners in Blue, all really upbeat, catchy with that kind of bird sounding guitar. But then this, kicking off the second side, you've got Broken Horse, which almost sounds like Sign DC by Love. It's much more melancholy. It kind of plods along. It's got a more somber tone, but then No Easy Way Down is an epic at the end. It's got, again, like that kind of Eastern raga guitar sound and lots of swirling organ in the background as well. But yeah, they're a really cool band. I love the Rain Parade. They changed their sound for the next album, Crash and Dream. It sounded more power pop. It was more polished. But yeah, that's another really great one. I think this is as good as Emergency Third Rail Power Trip, if not maybe even better. So next up then, we've got a collaborative effort that brings together old psychedelia from the 60s and modern psychedelia, puts them together, and it is Peter Daltrey and Asteroid number 4 with their 2013 album, The Journey. This is on Revola Records, Poppy Disc Records. So if you don't know who Peter Daltrey was, he was the lead singer for the UK Psychsters Kaleidoscope, and then he went on to be the lead singer for Fairfield Parlour, who were signed to the Vertigo Swirl label. I think they put out one album in the early 70s. He's a bit of a kind of cult psych icon. And Asteroid number 4 are a psych band from the US that have been churning out albums from the 90s, all of a really good standard. Some of them now quite expensive, but this thankfully can be picked up really cheaply. But it's a great album nonetheless. To give you an idea of the sound of the album, Asteroid number 4 said that their blueprint for creating the album was the Byrds album from '67, Younger Than Yesterday. And it really does have that sound. Very, very mellow, 12-string psychedelic guitar sound with mellow organs kind of filling in the gaps in the background. Yeah, full album. I'll just show you the label pretty quick. Back to the UK then, but another cheapie. I got this for about £6. It was £6 well spent. It's the Koves with their debut album, Soft Friday, from 2014. And this is on Netwerk Records, I think a German label. But yeah, they're a UK band, UK duo, and they make a big sound for a duo. They are Beck Wood on vocals. She's got this kind of cool, sultry sounding, dreamy vocal, and then John Ridgard does all the instrumentation. And the music's kind of a mix of psych pop, a little bit kind of blues rock. They're quite garagey. They've almost got that kind of Spectre Wall of Sound thing going on, bit of soft rock in there. But yeah, very poppy, upbeat, easy to get into, and yeah, just a great album, especially for the price. But they say don't ever judge a book by its cover, but in this case, do judge a book by its cover, or should I say, judge an LP by its cover, because it kind of does what it says on the tin. So next then, back to LA, and the Death Valley Girls, a band that I really like. I've shown some of their albums before, but this is their 5th album from 2023. It's called Islands in the Sky. It's a beauty. The thing I really like about the Death Valley Girls, I think they've got this lovely push and pull between garage stompers and then more cosmic, spacey, psychedelic wizardry. That kind of comes across, I think, on that album cover. It's really cool. So they're led by Bonnie Bloomgarden. It's their lead singer. I really like her voice as well. It kind of sets them aside from a lot of other bands. She's got like this kind of 1960s girl band kind of sound to her voice. She's a cool singer. But when she was writing this album, she'd said that she was really unwell at the time. I think it was during COVID. I think she may have had COVID. And she'd said that she wanted to write an album to her future self, full of kind of hope and an upbeat album that would make her feel better if she ever felt that bad again. And this was the result. So yeah, really cool stuff. It's kind of full of fuzz guitars and swirling Hammond organs, and then their kind of trademark crazy saxophone sound that they employ in earlier albums as well. I suppose you kind of describe it almost as 1960s go-go music for punks. So previously then, with Peter Daltrey and Asteroid #4, we had a neo-psychedelic album that spanned generations. Now we have a neo-psychedelic album that spans continents, and this is the Flamingods with their 2019 album, Levitation. This is on Moshi Moshi Records. So the Flamingods are a band that really draw on their cultural heritage because they're made up of band members from London and from Bahrain. So there's a real Middle Eastern flavour to this album, but at the same time, it's got a really electronic psych vibe, lots of cool drum beats. And in a way, for me, this kind of almost sounds like a little bit Manchester, a little bit baggy. But yeah, cool albums, like a kind of psychedelic rock album with, like I said, electronics and Middle Eastern flavour. But just show you, the vinyl's really cool. I think the album art is very cool on that kind of sunburst yellow and orange vinyl. There's the inner. It says here, all songs written by the Flamingods, Kamal Razul, Charles Prest, Karthik Poduval, and Sam Rowe. Yeah, great stuff. The Flamingods, I really like that album art. That front cover's cool as well. The other great thing about this one is it's another one that won't break the bank. I think I paid £6-7 for this as well. Really good. I've got a feeling that Brian at Embryonic Robot showed this before, so I thought I would show it as well because it's a bit of a banger. There we go. So now we're going down under to Western Australia, the city of Perth, for the amazingly named psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Now this is an album I've shown before. This is their debut from 2016 called High Visceral Part 1. Like I said, I've shown this one before, so I thought today I would show the imaginatively titled, followed up High Visceral Part 2. Now, this is more of the same from the psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Really, really good stuff. They're a 6-piece band, if you don't know them. They say that their music's exactly like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and Tame Impala. For me, they're more like King Gizzard. Very, very guitar heavy. Lots of heavy guitar leads and heavy passages of guitar. But yeah, great stuff. Their lead singer, Jack McEwen, so he's actually English. He grew up in England till about the age of 13. His family emigrated to Australia. And he kind of describes their music as this energetic mess of colour and tone. And you really get a sense of that from the album cover. But we just see this vinyl as well. I love this kind of marbled coloured vinyl. It looks really, really cool. White and magenta. And there's the record label as well. They are on What Reality Records. So that's their own record label, What Reality Records. But yeah, great band. These are not easy to come by. I think both of these are over £100. Both volume 1 and 2. I think you can get them on a reissue that packages the two of the first albums together, and it's a bit more reasonable. But yeah, really glad to have this in the collection. I really like psychedelic Porn Crumpets, and yeah, this is just more of the same. Great guitar work, really spacey, really psyche. Next then to Wales. Loads of great psych comes out of Wales, especially in the 90s, where you had the Super Furry Animals and the amazingly named Gorky's Zygotic Monkey. But this, of course, is Super Furry Animals with their 5th album, Rings Around the World, from 2001. It was their first album on a major label when they signed to Epic. Yeah, really good album, really melodic, a nice mixture of psych, prog. It's really upbeat. Loads of great harmonies in there, very Beach Boysy in places. Really cool inner. So you got all that great songwriting from Gruff Rhys, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But then into the bargain, you get cameos from John Cale on piano and Paul McCartney on Root Vegetables as well. So yeah, really good album. I should really dig into more Super Furry Animals because I don't know them overly well. I only really know a couple of albums, and I like everything I've heard. So yeah, I need to get more of their stuff because this is really good. So to finish then, we're going to land in Texas, a city rich with psychedelic heritage and pedigree. But this is not the classic variety. This is neo-psychedelia from 2019. It is Khruangbin with their debut album, The Universe Smiles Upon You. Check out that album art. That looks like out of my front window at the weekend when I was checking out those northern lights. Maybe not quite as good as that, but not far off. But Khruangbin, what a band. They've got the funky drum beats from DJ Johnston. They've got those funky, sexy bass lines from Laura Lee and Mark Spear's guitar playing. It sounds like he's plucked those psychedelic sounds from all four corners of the globe. He's influenced by Filipino music, by Nigerian high life, and it's just all mixed up in that amazing psychedelic soup. As I've said before, it's the beat layer, the hip swayer, the guitar slayer. Khruangbin, what a band. I love Mordecai, but this is probably better, possibly better, their debut on Nighttime Stories. If you don't know them, check them out. So there we go, that was my roundup of some neo-psychedelic albums that I was listening to over the weekend. A nice little selection there for me, I think, because there's so many different varieties of modern psychedelic music that it never ever gets boring. So many different countries are all feeding into that scene now as well. It's not just Australia, it's not just the UK or the United States. You get great bands from all over. I think as a movement, I think it's just going to grow and grow. But if you liked the video anyway, give us a thumbs up. Tell me what you've thought. Any other bands that I should be checking out in the neo-psych scene, then drop it in the comments. I'd love to read about them. And subscribe if you wish to do so. Other than that, until the next time, see you later. Bye for now.